Amplify Science Population and Resources, Chapter 2, Lesson 2.3, Births Changing in a Population. So the lesson begins with our warm-up, and you are introduced to a diagram called a food web. In this case, it could also be referred to as a food chain, but we'll refer to it in this lesson throughout as a food web. And they want you to respond to the two questions. Once we've had a chance to revisit those questions as a class by using the projection. And here we have the vole and the arrow pointing towards the fox. So it indicates that the foxes eat the voles. The key to understanding this is the direction of the arrow points the energy flow. It indicates that the energy from the vole will be going to the fox, or the vole goes into the fox. And the key concept here today is that the larger the resource population, the more energy storage molecules are available for the consumer population. So as we go through this lesson, and we're back into the population and resources simulation, it instructs us to select the three populations. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, but since you're familiar with this resource and you've used it numerous times, we want to point out, reminding you that you'll be pausing and playing this throughout the lesson. You have to get ready to pause it, I believe, on 20 units to take your data. But the new icon in the bottom left that you need to, if you're not already aware of it, is the food web icon, where it indicates the number of organisms of each and the energy storage molecules available for each. So that's one of the skills you'll need today. The other skill you'll need is to be able to open the side menu and adjust populations using the plus/minus button, and then locking them in place. So when you lock a population in place, the pop-up tells you that that number won't change, only the other population numbers will change, and to see how that affects the ecosystem. And then another skill you'll need is to pop over onto the Analyze side and make sure that the range window is open. It is open by default, but it refers to looking at the range window. And this is what it looks like in graph form on the left, but over here on the right, they give you the numbers in the range, the differences between those born and those that have died. So that is the range that they're referring to. So for most of the lesson, you'll be adjusting settings to address the questions that they give you. In this case, you see an example here where they're talking about green leaves and wee bugs. You need to be able to answer that question. And there's quite a few more questions involved in step 2. So give yourself time. You know, they give us the range of about 30 minutes. So in other words, this step will be about as long as any step you've completed so far in Amplify. You get a chance, once people have had to complete that step, discuss the reflection on changing births. You need to commit to one of the 3 answers there. And then in the homework or final step, still talking about green leaves and wee bugs, they present you with a couple more questions that you need to make adjustments to in the simulation and come back with some conclusions. And that is Lesson 2.3.